We're out at TarraWarra Glen Winery and the landscape architecture is absolutely wonderful. But for me, it's a trip down memory lane. And what happened is back in my late 20s, I had a nursery up in Mount Dandenong and I got a phone call one day asking me to go out and take a look at some trees that had been put in a field out in a farm out in Yarra Glen. Anyway, so I came out here. It's actually TarraWarra is actually the exact area. And I came out here and I was absolutely shocked. There was actually hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of trees that had been dumped in the paddock. They were laying on their side. It was springtime. They were coming into leaf. The weather was hot and dry, and I knew that I only had a few days to save them, and I quickly hooked up a pump and hooked up some irrigation and got sprinklers going on them and saved them. And when I reported back to the contractors, they said to me, look, we need someone to plant them. And so I got to work, and it took me about 3 months to plant them all. So and I had to keep them wet. They're all in big root balls. I had to keep them all wet, look after them, and the avenue is just done absolutely beautiful. And we're going to go down and take a look at this avenue because it makes the drive in absolutely wonderful. So we're going to go down and take a good look at that avenue, and it's a beautiful bit of work by track consultants and a little bit of work by myself planting it. Here we are, back in the early 80s. I was asked to plant these trees, and at the time they were laying in a paddock not far from here, and they were about 9 metres tall, and we had to crane them into position. I remember I got into a little bit of strife because they really bought them for the height, and I buried them all 1.5 metres down in the ground because poplars root all up and down the stem, and once or twice we had to dig up a big one because it got in the way of the construction that was going on. I had to dig up a big one a few months after we planted them, and they're absolutely covered in beautiful white roots coming all up and down the trunk. And one of the reasons I think these have done so well is that I planted them in that 1.5 metres tall, and so they're right down, the bottom of them's right down where the water is, and then you've got lots and lots of roots all the way up and down, so they've got a really good hold on the ground. And what we have here is we've got a monolifera poplar, and you can't buy these really anymore. I don't know anybody growing them, but these are the ones that were developed by Bryant and May for redhead matches, which used to be an Australian brand, and they were growing up along the Murray and split up into matches and sold as your redhead match. And back when they did this, these were still used as a nursery product and as a farm tree, but since then they've gone off the market. And so this is like a little piece of history out here, seeing the old Bryant and May poplar, and it's a beautiful look up here. It's just the most amazing, beautiful, slender, upright tree with a fabulous trunk, great for making matches, and it's a little piece of history preserved. The other thing is, this is a beautiful design. It's an avenue of poplars that winds more than 1 kilometre right up to the house, and right at the entrance here, they're planted in a really interesting pattern. So as you drive your car through, you see all different angles. You'll see rows of poplars going out as you come in. So it's a really, really interesting and exciting, like everything out at TarraWarra Glen, just the entrance through the poplars is a little piece of art, and I'm proud to have played a small part in making it happen.